Y'all will never gaslight me into believing that Kim Kardashian was the problem. For years, the internet has dragged her name through every scandal attached to Kanye West, painting her as the villain behind his downfall. But after this new documentary dropped, the entire narrative flipped. For once, the internet is siding with the Kardashians. And honestly, the footage, the interviews, and the moments they captured are nothing short of jaw-dropping. It's raw, uncomfortable, and in many ways, heartbreaking. This isn't the Kanye story you think you know. It's far messier, and it starts long before politics, hospitalizations, or Yeezy empires. It starts with one single night that changed everything. The film opens by rewinding the clock to that infamous 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. The night Taylor Swift was accepting her award, and Kanye West stormed onto the stage, grabbed the microphone, and declared that Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. That one moment sent shockwaves through the industry. Overnight, Kanye's reputation shifted from brilliant provocateur to unpredictable loose cannon. It wasn't just a meme. It wasn't just an awkward TV moment. It became a defining flashpoint that haunted his career for years. The documentary shows this night as the first domino falling. Right after that scandal, his planned tour with Lady Gaga got canceled, marking the first crack in the facade of unstoppable success. People started to look at him differently. What had once been interpreted as artistic boldness was now seen as instability. And from there, things snowballed. Even though Kanye and Taylor publicly tried to move on, the damage lingered. Their tension became one of pop culture's most enduring storylines. The film makes it clear that VMA Night wasn't just drama, it was a preview. A preview of how Kanye's own impulses would keep colliding with his career again and again until the whole structure collapsed. But as shocking as that was, it was only the beginning. Years later, the chaos would take on an entirely different form, one that mixed faith, fame, and fragility in ways no one could have predicted. Fast forward to 2016. Kanye is in the middle of his massively successful St. Pablo tour. Fans are packing arenas, the stage design is revolutionary, and the energy is electric. Then, suddenly, without warning, he cancels the remaining dates and is hospitalized. At the time, the public only got fragments, rumors of exhaustion, whispers about breakdowns. But in the documentary, Kanye speaks openly. He admits he had been off his medication for months, convinced he was on some kind of divine mission. Watching him talk about it is intense. His eyes light up with conviction as he describes feeling guided by something bigger than himself. And at the same time, there's a darkness in his tone, a sense that he's standing at the edge of something vast and dangerous. This moment becomes the pivot point. Everything before feels like a rising star spiraling. Everything after feels like watching a world unravel in real time. The film frames that 2016 hospitalization as the shadow hanging over every decision that followed. Fame, pressure, paranoia, and untreated mental health issues collided in one messy, unforgettable moment. And behind the scenes, Kim and the rest of the Kardashian-Jenner family were trying to hold things together. But the more Kanye clashed with the industry and the media, the more he started to see enemies everywhere. He saw systems out to control him, narratives twisted against him, people turning his words into weapons. That paranoia became the lens through which he saw the world. And nothing exposed that lens more than what came next. 2018 arrives, and Kanye steps onto the Saturday Night Live stage wearing a bright red Trump hat. It's not subtle. It's not performative irony. He's standing 10 toes down, live on national TV, ready to say whatever he wants. The crew reportedly tried to convince him not to wear it. Producers worried about backlash, but Kanye refused to back down. When the show ended, he launched into a full pro-Trump speech, calling out what he saw as manipulation and control. Cast members were stunned. Michael Che, in particular, confronted him backstage, asking why he would call them out live on TV without giving them a chance to respond. The cameras captured it all: the thick tension, the confusion, the frustration. Kanye explained that for him, the hat wasn't about politics. It was about freedom, doing what everyone told him not to do. But then, almost in the same breath, he admitted that wearing it made him feel unsafe. He told White House staff he needed to be inside for protection whenever he wore it. Freedom and fear, side by side. It was classic Kanye, rebellious, unpredictable, and deeply contradictory. And this is where the family steps in. The documentary doesn't shy away from showing the raw, emotional confrontations between Kanye and Kris Jenner. There's a heartbreaking scene where Kris, through tears, begs him to take his medication. She's not yelling, she's not controlling, she's pleading. Kanye, in full resistance mode, snaps back that he'd rather be dead than medicated. The room falls silent. He accuses the Kardashians of being part of the machine that broke him. And then, something unexpected happens. Kris admits that yes, their fame and the ecosystem around their family have contributed to his stress. But she also tries to reason with him. She tells him that what strangers online say doesn't matter. What matters is what the people closest to him think. Her voice shakes as she tells him she just wants him to be okay. It's an uncomfortable moment because both sides are right in their own way. Kanye's pain is real. Kris's concern is real. And neither of them can fully bridge that gap. For a brief moment, though, it looked like love might win. The documentary cuts to their family trip to Uganda, a scene that almost feels like a calm after the storm. The family surrounds Kanye, pleading with him to listen, reminding him of who he used to be. One person even says, "You weren't like this a couple years ago," and the sadness in their voice is heavy. Kim, exhausted but steady, tries to reason with him. She tells him that hearing no is a part of life. She hears no all the time, and she doesn't explode. Kanye reacts like a child denied candy, unable to tolerate boundaries. It's one of the most revealing moments in the film. Kim isn't screaming, she isn't playing victim. She's simply trying to keep her marriage and his sanity from falling apart. They renew their vows during that trip, a quiet promise to keep going no matter what. And for a short while, it seemed like they might find their way back to each other. Then Kanye reemerges in a new light. The Sunday service era begins. Dressed in all white, leading gospel choirs, preaching about faith and rebirth, he presents himself as a man transformed. For a moment, fans buy it. The music is beautiful. The visuals are stunning. It feels like a redemption arc. But redemption arcs rarely last forever, especially when they're built on shaky foundations. By 2020, Kanye throws the world another curveball. He announces he's running for president. No one saw it coming, not even those closest to him. Around the same time, he becomes obsessed with building a futuristic Yeezy compound in Wyoming. He envisions it as his own version of paradise. Sustainable, architectural, revolutionary. But behind the scenes, chaos is still brewing. His social media becomes a whirlwind of emotional posts, unpredictable statements, and erratic behavior. It's as if he's living in his own reality, one that grows more disconnected by the day. The breaking point comes when Kanye publicly says that he and Kim once considered not having their daughter, North. The words land like a bomb. Fans are stunned. Kim is reportedly crushed. The documentary doesn't sensationalize this moment. It lingers. It shows the weight of his words hanging in the air. Shortly after, Kim files for divorce. After years of standing by him through storms that would have sent most people running, she finally decides to step away. The film doesn't portray her as the villain. It portrays her as a woman who reached her limit. As the marriage unravels, so does the empire. Kanye starts believing he's untouchable, bragging about how Adidas could never afford to lose him. He talks like a man who thinks he is the brand itself. But when his anti-Semitic remarks surface, Adidas moves swiftly. They cut ties. billions of dollars vanish overnight. Instead of reflecting, Kanye doubles down. He appears wearing White Lives Matter shirts, dismissing outrage, refusing to acknowledge the harm he's caused. The fallout is swift. Major promoters like Live Nation and AEG refuse to book him. The Sphere in Las Vegas, the most sought-after venue for performers, flat out rejects him. The man who once commanded stages around the world suddenly finds himself shut out. Throughout all this, Kanye tries to rewrite the narrative. He insists he's misunderstood. He claims the media twists everything into a story about bipolar disorder when in reality, he sees his outbursts as art, politics, or divine expression. He pushes the idea that going off his meds makes him more himself. It's chilling to watch because the disconnect is undeniable. He's trying to maintain control of his story while visibly losing control of everything else. Longtime fans, the ones who defended him through every controversy, start to admit they can't recognize him anymore. Even figures like Michael Che, who once admired him, say publicly that they can't stand by what he's become. By the final act of the documentary, Kanye seems almost serene. Not because he's healed, but because he's accepted the chaos. He's lost partnerships, family respect, and millions of fans. Yet he carries himself as if it's all part of a divine plan. It's unsettling. Watching him reflect on everything he's lost, there's no visible regret, no moment of reckoning, just a man who has chosen his own world, no matter the cost. And this is where the opening statement comes full circle. People love to blame Kim Kardashian for Kanye's spiral, but the footage tells a different story. She stood by him through breakdowns, controversies, and political storms that would have broken most marriages. She stayed calm when he lashed out. She tried to protect their family while he was tearing down his career. And while the Kardashians are far from perfect, the documentary makes it clear. Kim was not the villain here. She was the anchor in a storm that no one could control. The story of Kanye West is not simple. It's a tangle of genius and self-destruction, love and paranoia, rebellion and fear. It forces you to ask a difficult question. Is he misunderstood? A visionary fighting against a system that never got him? Or has he crossed a line he can't come back from? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. But what's undeniable is the impact. Watching his journey unfold feels like witnessing a modern tragedy in real time. A man who once shaped culture now stands on the outside of it, shouting his truth into an echo chamber of his own making. So what do you think? Is Kanye West simply misunderstood, or has he gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over. And if you thought this story was wild, wait until you see what's coming next. The next chapter in celebrity chaos might just be even messier than this one.